Hello, everybody. Welcome to SOAR Time meetings. I am actually recording our SOAR meeting today from my office at home because I didn't get it done in school today. You can hear my dog, Angus, barking in the background. He thinks that there's somebody here. It's just me talking to the computer, but if he comes up here, I'll introduce you to Angus, the boxer. Last week we talked about human communities. And today, as I came back and I was greeted by your smiling faces and by your hugs, and those of you who stopped in to tell me how your weekend went, I left the building today thinking, wow, what a wonderful human community that I get to be a part of. And so I just want to start off thanking you and letting you all know that I am grateful to be a part of the human community with you all. Before we start, I know there were some of you who didn't get to see my video last week. If you ever want to watch my videos, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sarah Sorensen 51. No, that's not my age. But I want to remind you and let those of you know who weren't here that this was kind of how our meeting started last week. There are 4 rules that are very important to being a part of a human community. And we're a part of human communities, remember, all the time. When we come to school, when we work, our families, we're always a part of human communities. So remember these things. Everyone is a person, regardless of our own feelings about somebody. Everyone is a person. I just hope that hate and anger don't cause you to dehumanize someone. I hope that it doesn't cause someone to feel hated and hurt. I hope that it doesn't make somebody feel invisible or less than. So remember, personhood first. Everyone is a person. The second thing is, remember that people are complicated. We are very good. Human beings are very good at complicating things. We overthink things. We assume things. We worry. We get jealous. We try to control everything that's going on around us. We worry about other people's business when it really has nothing to do with us. So people are complicated. I am complicated. You are complicated. We are complicated beings, okay? Number 3 is this. When we get human beings together who are complicated, we get even more complicated in groups, even more. We put all of our junk together, right? So that's the 3rd thing to remember. And the last thing to remember is everyone is a person. I don't care if you are a student in this school or if you are a staff member in this school. Remember that everybody is a person. So now that we have those important rules down again, I feel like that's something that we all should read and hear every single day of our life. But now what? We've told our stories. Maybe we shared them out loud. Maybe we wrote them down. Maybe we just thought about our stories. Maybe you were somebody that was courageous enough to share your story with others. Maybe you heard someone's stories. Now what? Now what do we do? That this is out there, right? We've shared this. We've thought about it. I want you to reflect for a moment about your story. What were the ups? What were the downs? Your joys, your hurts, your pains? What are things that happened in your family before you were born but are still a part of your family, your history, your story? Think about that. And now I want you to reflect on someone else's story. What were the ups? What were the downs? Are they the same? Do you have differences? Think about those stories. When I was away at classes, one of the friends that I met, one night we were working on a group project, and for some reason his story came out in the middle of us working on a paper. A story of a daughter who is 40 years old, who is living in a home and she has Down syndrome. The story of a son who's 30 who came back home to live and he's an alcoholic. And then his other son who has a family whose wife has been given a year to live because she has terminal cancer and they have 3 little kids at home. And this man is holding all of this in his hand. This is his story. What do I do with that story? Right? What do we do with the stories that we are told? What do we do with our own story? So I want to read a poem to you. And teachers, you can put this up after the video is done. But this is a poem. It's called Kindness, and it's by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead on the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and a simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that can make sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowds of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. I want you to take some time reflecting on this poem today, about your story and about the stories that you have heard. In the poem, I want you to think about what made you say, "Yes, this is so true, I felt that." What made you pause and just think for a moment? What did you disagree with? I want you to think about this. Do you feel invisible? Do you feel ignored? If you do, I beg you to reach out. I beg you to tell someone. Tell me. Tell a family member. Tell a teacher. Tell someone. Because I promise you, you are noticed. I see you. If you feel invisible, reach out. Or maybe you are someone who finds that you dehumanize people. You make mean and snide comments. You make people feel less than a human. And I ask you this, why? Why? And how is it working for you? If you need help with that, come and talk to me. It's not okay. It's not okay. So the rest of this time, I invite you to email me your thoughts on the questions or write a note or a letter to me or someone you trust. Or maybe it's a class discussion. However your advisory decides that this should look, it can look for you. Remember, everyone is a person. Everyone.